You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Good evening. Welcome into Greenie Sports Cards Live, the world's first multi-stream broadcast for the hobby industry. We appreciate you joining us this Tuesday evening, as many of you continue to do every Tuesday across multiple streams here, whether you're watching on X or Facebook or Twitter or, as it were, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, of course, YouTube. And the Twitch. You can comment from wherever you are watching and enjoying the discussion, as many of you continue to do week over week. We have a coast-to-coast show for you again this evening. Greenie is out west in Arizona. I am here in Cleveland, Ohio, the headquarters of Greenie Sports Cards, Twinsburg, Ohio, not far from Cleveland itself. And we have a jam-packed show for you this evening. Once again, lots to cover, lots to review in the world of Cleveland sports in particular, but across the country. And we've been very fortunate to have on this show, this program, Hall of Fame guests. We've had coaches and student athletes, professional players. Tonight, we're looking forward to welcoming a gold medalist. So stay tuned for that. We're going to welcome Isabella Geraci, who is a star wide receiver on the USA flag football team. We'll get to talk to her about her career and the burgeoning sport of flag football, which of course will be an Olympic sport here in 2028. So very cool stuff, and lots to recap as well. So excuse me, let's go ahead and welcome in the man himself, Steve Greenberg, aka Greenie. Good evening.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
I'm shaking a cough, as many of us are
Yeah.
on parts.
I am too, from 2,000 miles away. I guess it's that time of year. We both jokingly thought where we might have caught this cough a week or so ago, but that's for another time in discussion. But
Yeah,
it's been fun. I've been out here. We celebrated my mom's birthday. The whole family was in, and tomorrow I'll be heading back to, I guess, snow this weekend.
potentially. Yeah, it's going to get cold around these parts again. Very exciting day, though. Pitchers and catchers reported. I don't know if you saw any out your way, but
So
first sign of spring.
Yeah, so I was actually there was a card show here it was in Scottsdale on Saturday, and Cole, who we're going to have on our show, I talked to him. He runs some great shows out here. They have a big one coming up in March, but I was at his show on Saturday, and I got to spend a little bit of time with Ethan Roberts, who pitches for the Cubs, and we talked about him when we had Bo from 1 Million Cubs on, and so we had a nice little conversation, and I asked how he's feeling. I mean, he collects cards, that's why he was at the show, but he's healthy after Tommy John. He's ready to go. So that was pretty cool. So that was my pitchers and catchers report. I mean, but at least it was first person because I got to speak to a MLB pitcher.
Yeah, very, very cool. So um, we're very happy here around these parts to put the NFL season behind us and looking forward to the Cleveland Guardians taking the field once again and bringing hope, and spring will hope eternal this season. Lots to look forward to there. Uh, DeAndre Hunter made his debut last night for the Cavs. That was pretty cool. Lots going around in Cleveland sports, and in particular, last Thursday, we were fortunate enough to join the 25th anniversary of the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards. It's an event that is put on by the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, part of the Cleveland CVB Convention and Visitors Bureau here in Cleveland. And it's a remarkable organization. They just celebrated their 25th anniversary of this event and capped the evening off with an announcement that with one of the most recent events that they've attracted, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission has now attracted over $1 billion in economic impact to the city of Cleveland and Greater Cleveland throughout their history. And this is the organization led by David Gilbert and his team that has their hand and feet and whole bodies in on when the Major League All-Star game comes, when the NBA All-Star game comes, the Final Four last year, and everything in between, from the World Yo-Yo Championships to lots of other games, senior games, and they continue to attract events and put on world-class events in the city of Cleveland. And it really does take a village around these parts. It's a remarkable community that celebrates sports, and this event every year brings out a who's who of media and personalities. And we're going to give you just a little bit of a taste of what we saw last Thursday.
Great video. You and Drew were able to walk around that night, and Drew took unbelievable video. Haley wrapped that up for us the next day, and I mean that was really the sights and sounds of it through your guys' eyes, being there on the floor, and very cool. Couldn't be any funnier that Mike Polk was interviewing the Wind Froggy, though. I mean that's pretty Mike Polky, which is pretty,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty Mike Polky. I mean, we saw Kenny Lofton hugging Slider and lots of other things. Katie Moon, of course, another Olympic gold medalist, was there. Anderson Verja was in that video. The mayor, the county executives. It really was a celebratory evening, and there was a recap of the '95 Cleveland Indians team hosted by Chris Rose. Got to interview Jim Thome and Charles Nagy, and Kenny Lofton was a part of that. And Rajay Davis made an appearance. It was Boobie Gibson. It was pretty awesome. Dan Gilbert was given a Lifetime Achievement Award as a part of that event, interviewed by his son, and he had quite possibly the best line of the evening. Dan, who has had some struggles, health struggles of late, but continues to serve as chairman of Cleveland Cavaliers, amongst many other things in the Rocket mortgage world. But he said, and forgive my language, he said, awards are like hemorrhoids. Sooner or later, every a-hole gets one. And thought it was pretty poignant. He was self-effacing. He was physically doesn't get around like he used to, but his mind's still sharp, and he's still committed to Cleveland and the town.
He's done terrific. He has. He's done terrific for this Cavs team. You know, when he bought it from the Guns. I mean, this team has been up and down, but it is definitely, you know, on the upswing once again. And, you know, keeping that team together with Colby Altman and letting him run the show, you know, much like the Guardians do, right? The owner lets the GMs do their thing. And 2 out of our three teams here in Cleveland have kind of an upward trajectory. And we'll leave it at that.
Indeed. Greenie Sports Cards was a part of another exciting event this past weekend on Saturday. Greenie had the opportunity to create team sets for both the men's and women's teams for Cleveland State University, and there was a giveaway at the event for the first 150 kids that came in to both games, the women's game and the men's game. And so Will came out with us and filmed on that day, and we'll give you a little bit of taste of that event as well.
There we go. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. That is awesome to see. I know you were there, and Vita was there with you, and got to watch a lot of kids go up to the girls after and get them signed, and that's what's really fun, and getting to see that, and you know, watch them flipping through the cards and going through them, and you know, talk about the cards for a second. You know, Jeremy, they know, people just see that you know, we make these cards and we put them out there, but it's not that simple. It's a huge process, which you're mainly a part of because you designed these cards. And we went to a printer and, you know, we tested paper. We've done the whole trajectory of building these from the ground up. And it's really cool to see them come to life. And not only do the fans and the collectors love them, these college student athletes, they love them too. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I've gotten some messages like, hey, can we get more of these? Or, you know, I want, you know, somebody from the men's team or a men, you know, asking. So it's pretty cool. I I guess we'll let me announce this because we haven't posted it yet anywhere, Jeremy. Yep. But our friend James did. He posted this on LinkedIn, that we've made a deal to be the official trading card of Kent State University, for the rest of this calendar year. And we'll be making cards for some baseball players, a Kent State men's baseball team. They sent us a list that we'll go through that in the next few weeks, and we'll show that to everybody. But it's a pretty cool deal, and our friends at Kent Sportswear are helping us with that, and their logos will be on the back of the card. And I think the way that they're going to run it is you have to go to a game, and you'll get an individual player every game, and if you miss it, you'll be able to go to Kent Sportswear and be able to pick up the card certain ways. But that was something that we wanted to share as well, as far as the trading card aspect of Greenie Sports Cards.
Yeah, very cool stuff. Very quickly, it's gone from that initial card we did of Destiny Leo with Cleveland State a couple years ago to I think we're over 40 schools at this point, heading upwards over 100 athletes. So there's a whole other wave coming. You mentioned Kent State. There's Ohio State softball players. We have athletes from Nebraska and Wisconsin, Iona, a couple other schools I'm missing there, Greenie.
Yeah, there's a few other. There's some little schools. There's Bluefield University. So there's, yeah, I think there's Wisconsin. So yeah, there's quite a few. I think Connecticut, right? Nebraska, you said that. So New Jersey Institute of Technology is another one.
Yeah,
there's a basketball player there, and Bucknell is potentially one more. So yeah,
cool.
we're branching out in that. And, it's a fun process. The student athletes with the NIL cards, not the team giveaways, that's totally different, and that's a big thing to navigate. And people don't understand that, and not that they should understand that. All they see is cards, and they want to get the cards. But the NIL cards are different, and the student athletes make money on those cards.
That's right.
The team sets that we give away at the games are ordered by the universities, and they give those away. So it's a little bit different.
That's right. And this model that's now open to any school, any team, any player, any student athlete has opened up a whole world of opportunity for these student athletes to make some money and have a pretty cool keepsake of them. And let's take a look at that real quick on what this looks like for some of those student athletes.
Hi, this is Destiny Leo.
My name is Jordana Reisma.
Hi, I'm Maddie Visicki.
This is Nikki Purdue.
Hi, I'm Zuri.
This is Kobe Maples. We're using our name, image, and likeness to partner with Greenie Sports Cards to create our own trading cards,
which will help us grow our brands and let fans connect with us.
Go to greeniecards.com and order.
Each card will come personally signed by the student athlete and sent directly to you. You can help support our journey and celebrate the season by going to greeniecards.com to purchase our NIL cards.
Greenie has been producing card shows in Northeast Ohio for over 15 years. Whether you're a seasoned vet or new to card shows, Greenie has a show for you.
We very much appreciate your support. greeniecards.com.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So head to greeniecards.com. There's over 30 athletes on there at this point, and continuing to grow at that next wave. Like I said, there's going to be upwards of 100 student athletes with their NIL cards available, and you can support those students on their journey.
Yeah. So before you introduce our guest, Jeremy, one thing I did want to bring up for friends of the show here that watch, we did have a friend of the show that was on TV last night, and he was on The Voice, right? Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com writer, sports reporter, card collector, comes to our shows, hangs out. He made it past the first round on The Voice last night, and Adam Levine turned around. So pretty cool.
He did. We're all very proud of Hayden. Definitely wanted to shout him out tonight. And I said you can't go wrong with a Levine as a judge. So
that's right.
We'll continue to tune in. He's made it. He's in the show. So
he is.
Now we'll continue to follow his journey and wish him the best,
No
and
question.
and go from there. So we're very excited here to welcome, as I mentioned, a gold medalist onto the program, Isabella Geraci. We'll welcome her on here shortly. Before we do that, we want to give you a little bit of a preview trailer of the USA flag football documentary that's going to be coming up here, as kind of setting the stage for our conversation with Izzy.
Flag football has often just been a recreational sport. Now, football players can represent their country in the pinnacle of global sport.
Flag football established as an Olympic sport both for men and women in 2028.
You want to have a gold medal in the Olympics, you have to make this team.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4!
The U.S. national team, facilitated by USA Football.
You're here to compete, you have 12 spots for the 18. Let's work hard, leave it on the field. Every year, USA Football, we do a new tryout, but it's not guaranteed the people that are in this USA team is going to be in the LA Olympics in 28. Make it difficult for us, because at the end of the day, we have to cut 6.
Many of our athletes are working full-time jobs. They have families.
This is my daughter's birthday. She was like, "You're gonna make the team, Daddy, right?"
If they don't make the team, they're going back to that life that they're leading.
Let's go, we gotta go. We don't have time.
It's all about perfection here, ladies.
You don't know who's gonna be your teammate and who's not. Every year somebody's coming for your spot.
And there's gonna be 6 people who are going home.
Let it go. We're kind of being thrown into it. It's like a team bond, but at the same time, you're competing for a spot. You are not stopping me, period.
Good damn throw.
Hey!
Okay? Once you're cut, you're kind of on your own.
Can I get mic'd off and take a minute, please?
Gotta try to make the team.
Flag football is growing so fast.
Let's go.
Good catch. More people are trying out for the national team than ever before. And now you're seeing interest from players in the NFL.
NFL players, why do they think they're just about to come out here and be able to just play?
I'm better than Patrick Mahomes because of my IQ of the game.
I like this guy. He's like, this is my sport.
Crazy flag football beef, y'all.
When you step on that field, it's not playing pitch and catch.
We love it.
It's much more fast-paced than tackle football.
5 versus 5. The smaller field, 50 by 25.
You don't have time to hold on to the ball. Your routes and throws have to be crisper.
That's what I want to see right there. Good work.
Win a world championship in 2024. That's the goal right now.
Let's show them why we're the best team.
Let's get ready to rumble, folks. And it is for the gold medal. That's how you do it.
What's the game change? Yeah. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. What's the game change?
Our guest this evening, Isabella Geraci, is a remarkable athlete with an impressive sports biography. She was nicknamed Izzy by her coach. Born in North Ridgeville, Ohio, by us out here in Northeast Ohio. She was the only girl on her high school football team, and Izzy went on to play 2 NCAA Division I sports at the collegiate level, basketball and track. After college, she transitioned to flag football and quickly made a name for herself. She joined the United States women's flag football national team and played a crucial role in their success. She recorded 39 catches, 469 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and get this, without dropping a single pass during the team's gold medal winning campaign. She now has her sights on the 2028 Olympic team, where flag football will make its official debut in the sport. Please welcome Isabella Geraci.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So where are you now? Because every time I see you post on Instagram, you're somewhere else.
I am in Cleveland. I
Okay.
was just, where was I? I was in Mexico, and I was in New Orleans for a little bit of like pre-Super Bowl stuff for flag.
Cool.
So, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we really wanted to start off in Northeast Ohio, where we're all from. North Ridgeville. You played a ton of sports, but really excelled in basketball. When
Mhm.
you graduated, you were the all-time leading scorer in basketball at North Ridgeville. We're friendly with somebody that you know, Grace Kingery, who did break your
Yep.
record, and she has a card with us somewhere here.
Mhm.
Um, and I talked to her about it a few weeks ago when she signed it, and said you guys are friendly about it. So that's cool that somebody like Grace can break that record. Records are made to be
Of
broken, and
course.
she's pretty good one to do that.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
when you were at North Ridgeville, you went to Cleveland State, but before that, like, were you recruited by other schools?
I was, and I remember, like, I was reaching out a lot. I was trying to reach out to schools because I really wasn't getting recruited by schools that I was super interested in. Um, but I remember just reaching out, and then I switched. I was in an AAU program, and that's really what kind of took off for me, was AAU exposing me to different coaches at tournaments. Then I switched AAU programs to SMAC, and we went to even bigger tournaments, which exposed me. But yeah, Cleveland State was really highly recruiting me, and I was very interested in their staff. They seemed like they really cared. But it was weird because the staff that recruited me was not the staff that I ended up with when I got there. So it was a little different.
Yeah, that's the life of a college athlete, right? The
Mhm.
lot of moving parts, whether it's now the portal or coaches moving. Your last year, you entered the portal. You went to upstate South Carolina and finished
Mhm.
your college career there. What was the reason for doing that the last year?
I just felt like Cleveland State wasn't really what I wanted to get out of my, college basketball experience. I felt like I didn't really fulfill myself with that. And I figured I got gifted that year through COVID, which was like the one good thing that came out of
Mhm.
it. So why not make the best of it? And I decided to enter the portal, and Upstate kind of just fell in my lap, and it was like kind of like a dream come true. The way the program had everything going on, they were cleaning house pretty much, whole new staff except one assistant coach, and then a whole new team except one girl. Um, so it was like really starting fresh for everyone, which was like nothing better I could ask for. It was honestly an amazing experience. It felt like a true family, and it was a great way to end my college career.
Yeah, I mean, you started every game there. You led the team in some stats, and yeah, what a way to end your college career and then transition. Where did the flag football come from? I know you grew up playing football, but how does somebody wind up on the United States women's national flag football team?
It was kind of a whirlwind. It was very crazy how everything happened. Um, I kind of followed flag and tackle, women's flag and tackle through college because when I was at Cleveland State, I remember just being kind of checked out of basketball, and I was like, man, what can I do when I get out? And I was honestly looking at things to do during the time there. But I remember seeing how flag was just like shooting up, like everybody was doing it. High schools were starting to play it. And so I wanted to get involved. And I just remember I was like looking around, and I ended up when I went to upstate, I was getting really involved and trying to figure out how to get myself on a team. And I moved to Charlotte, and I reached out to Madison Fulford, who was on the USA team, who is my teammate now, because she's from the Charlotte area. And I asked how she got into it because she was around that area, and I didn't know if she knew some people, and she pointed me in the right direction, and kind of got me here. So I just got in front of the right people and got some film of myself, and that was that.
You have a USA Football Talent ID Camp coming up on the 15th, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Mhm.
That seems to be a way to identify talent these days. But when you were starting out, take us through that process a little bit of what it's like before you make that team. How does that process work? And emotionally, where are you in trying out? And then when you get tapped on the shoulder to make the team?
So yeah, it's a lot different, I feel like, for adults that weren't brought up through the junior national stuff, like they are doing for the talent ID camps now. You We have our club flag, so that's kind of how I got into it. I started playing club flag at tournaments across the country. I started playing in Charlotte, and then I got invited to play in Arizona, and then we were just kind of playing everywhere. And Tampa's probably the biggest club tournament. It's the World Championships for flag, happens every January, which I was just at. Um, And that's, I think, where like I really met a lot of people, and got a lot of eyes on me. But I had to get film on my own. I had to submit a digital combine profile on Game Time. It's an app they use to kind of scout players that don't really get in front of coaches yet. So it was a lot. It was very different than what they're doing now. What they're doing now is really cool because they're kind of bringing kids up into the program from a young age and teaching them the techniques and things that they use and kind of giving them tips to bring back to their high school teams and whatnot. So it was a weird route, but no, I'm very thankful for the way it happened and for the people I met. Like it was a whirlwind for sure. It was very different.
Is the training, much like a high school two-a-day? I mean, is it? I mean, it's the United States national team. I mean, that can't be like sit back and watch. I mean, that has to be full go.
Yeah, the weird thing about it is since we are like basically on year contracts, I guess you could say. The only time we'll get together because we're all over the country, we'll meet like every month and a half. Once you're on the team and you make it, you'll meet about I think it's like a month and a half or 2 months. We'll spend a weekend in Charlotte together from Thursday to Sunday, and every day we'll have a two-a-day. And we'll get tested for like skill tests. We'll do like I guess you could say like weightlifting tests. Not really, kind of like max out tests. And then we'll do all our field practices there. But we had 3 training camps last year, and then we had the tournament in Finland. So aside from being on the team, your off-season training is kind of tough because everyone's working a full-time job. I mean, nobody's getting paid like pro money to be playing flag football. So we're all working full-time jobs, and we're trying to fit this into our schedule, which is crazy. So for me, at least, I'll either wake up before work and work out at like 6:30, then get to work, or if I'm not feeling the morning, I'll go after work. And luckily, I'm not too far. My gym isn't too far from where I work. But yeah, it is tough to like have that self-discipline to want to convince yourself that you got to do this on your own without your teammates and kind of hold yourself accountable. So it's good to have people in your circle around you that are kind of outside the team that help you out, because it'd be tough if not.
Do you have like so the gym or wherever you do the training? Like, are you able to run routes? Do you have a personal quarterback?
I don't have a personal quarterback. I usually, if I don't have someone with me, I have like really good friends that'll throw me the ball. My dad always wants to throw me the ball.
Right.
But luckily, so I go to T3 in Avon,
Mhm.
and they have great facilities. So, I mean, people there are always willing to help, but I'll either run routes on air. I'll just do speed training, lifting, things like that, keep my cardio up. But yeah, if I have to find a person, everybody's always willing to help.
Sure.
Unlike professional or collegiate American football, where there is hitting, primarily hitting, what are the skill sets that translate into flag football?
Ooh, I guess for me, we always talk about being like a dual sport athlete because a lot of ex-basketball players become flag athletes. And I think one of the things that really helps is like the hand-eye coordination. Because in basketball, you're used to catching and throwing a ball. It's just a different technique. Um, but for me, I want to say like the ability to get a ball at its highest point. And I think like when you're defending someone in basketball, like in that one-on-one style, you got to get used to shuffling your feet, moving your feet. So if you're playing defense, but I think a lot of things translate. And then if you're again defense, hand-eye coordination, pulling flags, it's a lot harder than it looks. They make it look easy, and it is not easy. Let me tell you, that's why I play offense. But yeah, things like that, and then that like just the cardio training for basketball. It's like short spurts, and when we're running routes, it's like short spurts really. So that helps a lot. That's changes speed and stuff.
The the tournaments, or I guess how does that work? Is like the World Cup, you have to qualify in soccer to make
Right.
the World Cup. Is it kind of the same process here, or like does every nation have a team?
So it's weird for flag because so this past year we were in the World Championships for flag football. So every country who has a flag team will go to that. But this coming year we'll play in the Continentals, which will only be like North and South American teams. And then we'll also play in the World Games, and the World Games is basically a smaller version of the Olympics with like niche sports, you could say. So we'll be there, and that you have to place, I want to say top 8 in the World
Hmm.
Championships for flag. So it's man, us, Mexico, Canada, a few more teams. But you have to place for that one. And then I think the Olympics is only going to be 8 teams or 6 teams. And I don't know if they're being selected or if you're going to have to place again from something and then they'll put you in through that.
So in 2028, flag football will be sanctioned as an Olympic sport. That's quite a trajectory from going from something that wasn't necessarily top of mind for most athletes to now a chance to win a gold medal on behalf of your country. What does that process look like now over the next 4 years in preparation for that? And in fact, do you have your sights on that?
100%. Yeah, that's like my midterm goal. I feel like it's too close to say long term, but too far to say short term. But I would say personally, I'm just going to keep trying to make the team every single year. That's all we know is that's all we're being told. We're not being told that there's going to be like a 2-year contract. So you're set in for once you make it, you're good for 2 years. Like it's just make the team every single year. So, and I mean, in America, there's thousands of players that want to be on this team. So there's a target on your back, and that's kind of what keeps me going. So yeah, that's the drive, and I won't change a thing, honestly. Like I feel like I'm in a good spot to keep training the way I'm training. So yeah, it's crazy though to think about that it's 2028 and it's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that was a question.
if you don't drop passes, then they have to
Mm.
keep you around, Izzy.
I'd hope so.
Did I see? Did you moss somebody? Did you make ESPN?
I did from Finland. I did, and Randy Moss actually announced that.
I
Yeah,
did. I saw that.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have some highlight reel catches.
Yeah, yeah. People
Yeah,
think I
there's
purposely
this
try to
one in
get on
particular.
reels, but I promise I don't.
This one's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that one's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So how many women go out for this team? Like, how many people did you have to compete with?
So in reality, it's like thousands of players, but 60 only get invited. So you don't even really know, but the World Championships in Tampa for club, um, it's like thousands of teams that are there, and it's men's and it's kids too. So like that factors it out and kind of skews it. But no, there's high school kids. If you're 18 by a certain date, you're allowed to try out. And then we have our junior national teams, but a lot of those junior kids age out and then age into the adult team. So we have those kids coming in. So it's a lot. It's a lot that it's just 60 spots to get filled, and then cuts to 18, and then it cuts down to 12, and that's the team.
How did they tell you made it?
So after trials, I got a call from both my coaches. Everybody got a call from both the coaches that told you either you made it or you didn't make it. And then for the alternate cut, so the 18 down to 12 was in person. And that documentary that you guys showed the snippet of is going to show a lot about what we went through and kind of how emotional it was for everyone. And we literally had to sit there and with our teammates who got cut and just kind of console them. And you want to be happy for yourself, but at the same time, it's like, man, this sucks really bad because like you all want to make it. Yeah, it's an interesting process.
How much time was there in between, like that you had to like stew in your mind going, did I make it? Did I not make it? Was it like a couple days or a week
I
or?
think it was a week or 2 weeks.
Okay, so that's some time.
Yeah, you kind of sat on it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, so it definitely sat with you. And then that once you find out you're on the alternate roster, on that 18, it was immediate. It was the last day of our training camp, of our first training camp that you found out. So that was quick.
So you were able to spend time in New Orleans leading up to the Super Bowl. How was flag football received? How was this whole endeavor taken in by the world of football down there?
It's interesting. People don't really know about, I mean, people know about us, but a lot of people always have questions, and they had us parading around in our USA uniforms. So people kind of had to ask questions. And we had a few people ask if we played soccer, basketball, if we played rugby. But it's always, I mean, it doesn't offend me anyway. I'm always happy to talk about it and kind of inform people. And then they're like, wow, that's so cool. And I love to hear that, and especially when it's coming from like professional athletes or like people that I've looked up to in football, that are like, "Oh yeah, we know about you, like we know about the team, and you guys are doing great things." So that's really cool. But yeah, I love spreading the word about it because a lot of people don't know. I didn't know coming into it how crazy this was and how big it's going to be. So it's cool talking to people about it. But yeah, it's never I never take offense to it. I mean, people just don't know yet.
Yeah, so you guys did some interviews. Were you watching the Pat McAfee show, or did you guys get on there?
So we were watching it for a minute, and I remember I was standing like right by the red ropes they had. We were just like literally a foot away from the stage, and they had Dan Marino on, and the camera was kind of on him, and Pat was just like kind of sitting there, and he made eye contact with me, and my teammate, and he kind of gave us like a clap, like a silent clap, and like a fist
Oh,
pump.
nice.
So I was like, all right, he knows us, like he knows who we
Yeah.
are, and he worked with my quarterback and my center on that flag commercial for the Super Bowl. So he knew them, and he actually mentioned Benita's name, our quarterback, on his show the day after, I think it was. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a pretty good hype guy for a lot of
Yeah,
things.
he's
He
awesome. He's
plays
great.
football at any level, any team, you know. So it's fun to watch him.
Yeah, it is for sure.
So coming up here on the 15th, locally in Cleveland, Ohio, there is a talent ID camp. Talk to us a little bit about that. What the expectation is and the involvement of the Cleveland Browns.
So I'm kind of in the dark. I have not worked one of these yet. I have not been at one. I know it's a lot of skill based. I know they want to do a lot of teaching, but it's also going to be in a ton of competition because they're trying to scout kids too. But I know their huge thing is they just want to give you some tips and things that you can take back to your own training and your own teams and things like that. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be there, and the fact that it's going to be in Cleveland in my hometown, and I get to see some hometown kids is going to be really exciting. I think I'm going to be helping coach, maybe just helping out in some drills. But honestly, I'm so new to it that I probably should be learning as well. But no, it should be really fun. I'm excited. And the Browns, like NFL flag has a huge involvement, which is amazing because USA football and NFL flag are like really close, and they're doing a lot to fund it for the kids, which is awesome to see.
Do you think there'll be a time when there's a professional flag football league?
It's really sounding like it, honestly, with this
Yeah.
Roger Goodell talk and stuff like that. And I know there's a social media group called Overtime that does some stuff, and
Mhm.
they're talking about doing a flag thing because I know they do 7-on-7s with boys. They're talking about girls stuff. So I don't know. I'm really hoping there is. I think that brings some attention to it for sure. Then it'd be fun for us too. So you get to see a lot more talent.
That would be a lot of fun. I mean, it is a really fast paced game. I saw a lot of the highlights of your games, and I know Jeremy mentioned not the physical part of the tackling, but it is a physical game, right?
Oh,
I
for sure.
mean, you guys still get hit or hit inadvertently, but there's really no way to avoid that.
Yeah, no, especially if you're going up for a ball, like you and a DB are just going up for a ball, like there's nothing you can do about it. Like, yeah, they'll throw the flag maybe, but I mean, you're still gonna get hit. Like it is what it
Right.
is. But yeah,
Right.
I always throw my headband on, stay safe because I feel like that's gonna be a huge thing now is they're gonna start forcing people to wear headbands, which makes
Mhm.
sense because I feel like I'm always landing on the back of my head. So that's a huge thing right now. But no, honestly, it's super entertaining to watch. It's touchy. As much as it's not in contact, it's contact.
Yeah, well, you have top tier athletes moving at incredible speeds in all directions. There's bound to be
Yeah,
a little bit of chaos.
for sure.
I'm sure at some point there will be some sort of protective wear. They're just, I mean, I'm sure you wear a mouth guard, but
Yeah.
at some point, whether it's a headgear or not, I don't know, but I
Yeah.
mean, contact is contact. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, um,
So that's coming up here on the 15th in Cleveland, Ohio. Speaking of Cleveland, Ohio, our hometown, you added this accolade recently as well, being named by Cleveland Magazine in 2025 one of Cleveland's most interesting people. That's pretty cool, Izzy, that you've made this list for blazing a trail where an unexpected trail that most people weren't even aware of to date.
Yeah, it's crazy. I honestly still can't believe it. Um, I was lucky enough to have Jaden, the guy who wrote it. He was my manager while I was at Cleveland State. He was our team manager, and he's great. He's amazing. And he reached out to me, and he said that my name came up a few times when they were going through the nominee list, which was just crazy to me that more people wanted me on there other than him. But yeah, it was awesome. We had a great talk. He wrote a great piece on it, and still kind of surreal thinking about that.
Yeah. So speaking of Cleveland State, do you follow any of them? Are you friends with anybody still on the team?
Oh, Destiny for sure. Like, yeah, I just haven't followed much because I'm just so like
Sure.
I'm worried. I'm really trying to worry about what's going on in my life. But
Yeah.
no, I love
She's
Des.
always nearby for
Heck
us.
yeah,
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah,
I love that.
I mean, that school, I mean, it's near and dear to us. We enjoy watching them and following them, and we root for them as much as we can, as well as all Cleveland sports. And I know you're a big Cleveland sports fan, so let's just ask what's going to happen to Myles Garrett.
Oh man, I don't know. I was hoping I was going to see him in New Orleans so I could ask him. He was walking around,
Yeah.
but not the time that I was there. I was like, dang, could have
Yeah.
said something to him. But yeah, I have no idea. I mean, they're talking about they're not even gonna they don't care that he said that, so I don't know.
Yeah. Do you follow all the Cleveland sports, or did you grow up a Cavs fan, Indians
Yeah,
fan?
yeah. I used to watch more than I do now,
Sure.
just because I got a lot going on, but it's like my favorite thing to do. It's like talk about it, watch it. I love going to games. Um, yeah, honestly. And when I used to live downtown, we would just find Indians tickets to go to. So we're always down there. We used to go to games a lot, but yeah, every Cleveland sport, I'm there.
Were you still in New Orleans during the game? Like, did you go to the game? No.
No, unfortunately. No, we left Saturday morning.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
Next
boring
time.
game anyway.
Next time.
I mean, it'd be
Yeah,
fun
it
to go
wasn't really eventful.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't care who won. I mean, Travis Kelce's from Cleveland. I guess I rooted for that a little bit, but I just wanted it to be a good game, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was really unexpected, though. I will say that. I was
That is
not
true. That is true.
I was
Nobody
not planning on
expected
watching
that.
a blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what's next? Like, when does practice start? Where do you go from here?
So, we have our tryouts for the national team March 20th through it's the Friday through the Sunday, March 20th. So it's coming up really quickly. And until then, I'm kind of just training, making sure I'm healthy, things like that, working. And then following that, we should have training camps, and then we have Panama, and then we'll have China for the World Games. So yeah, March is coming up quick.
So, yeah. So you mentioned that working. So the jobs that all you girls have to be very like open and able, like flexible, right? There's the word I'm looking for. Like, and I think I know, but I mean, I guess you'll tell me if I don't know. You work for a family jewelry company,
I
right?
do, yeah. Peter and Company Jewelers, come out and say hey.
Yeah, but the great thing is you have that flexibility, and you get to go and you get to live your dreams doing that, and that's a really great thing that a lot of companies can probably do.
Yeah. No, honestly, like it worked out really well for me because when I was in Charlotte living, I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods. I worked full time there, so I was literally there weekends, and it was really hard for me to get in a normal schedule. Then I moved back home in November and started working with my mom and my aunt and my grandma, and everybody at the jewelry store. And yeah, I'm just really thankful with how they've treated me, and they've allowed me to like travel the world and do all these things for Flag. It's been amazing, honestly, and I love being there too. So it's best of both worlds.
Peter and Company can assess your medals as well, let you know if they're legit.
Yeah, right.
How much they might be worth.
True.
So, Izzy, we really appreciate you joining us tonight. We really appreciate having found your journey and being fans of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. We can't wait to continue to watch you. You've got the documentary coming out in early March. You've got the skills camp coming up here, talent ID camp on the 15th. Let everybody know where they can find you on social, or where you want them to find you to follow your journey.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me. If anybody wants to follow, it's Izzy Geraci7 on Instagram. That's usually where I post my stuff. I've got a TikTok, Isabella Geraci7. And I'm starting on a YouTube, so we'll be doing that soon. And if you want to follow Peter and Co, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we appreciate it. I know, for a couple of years we've been in touch and following your journey, and I know one day there will be a card of you. I will make that happen.
I cannot wait, honestly. My teammates were talking about it too. I was telling them, I was like,
Yeah.
you guys better wait. We might have something
And
in
I saw
store.
I mentioned to you earlier, I saw you made a post, or I don't know if you made it or the other guy made it, Mojo Sports. Jay is his name, and I've met him. He's a big content guy, so
Yeah.
I saw that he posted that he met you down there, and
Yeah.
maybe one day he'll have one of your cards that we make.
I know. I told him he actually came up to us, and he was one of the few people who was like, "Oh, you guys play on the flag team? Can we get a photo?" So it was really
Yeah.
cool. And then I remember he asked if we collected, and I said, "Oh no, but my dad does." And I was like, "Actually, funny you ask. I've been in talking with someone who actually makes cards and collects cards." And so we got to
Yeah.
talking about you guys.
Good.
And he was like, "Oh no way, that's awesome." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe you'll have one of us." So it was like perfect timing, honestly.
Yeah, it's funny. The collecting world. It's a small community, and a lot of people know each other, no matter where. I think he lives in California, I believe. And we're in
Okay.
Ohio, so it's
Right.
kind of a
Crazy.
small world. Yeah, it is. So yeah, we look forward to that, and hopefully we'll connect with that soon. And
For sure.
I mean, it's fun to watch, and we wish you all the best and success, and we're rooting.
Thank you
That's
guys. I
for
really
sure.
appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, cool.
Likewise. Thanks, Izzy.
Izzy, thanks. Yeah.
So yeah, our thanks to Isabella Geraci. Make sure you follow her on the socials and keep an eye on her journey. Life is remarkable, Greenie. I mean, you got an athlete that grew up playing basketball, running track, and has found her way into the national sport and spotlight of flag football.
Yeah, and listen, if you go to her Instagram page, I'm telling you, Jeremy, there's catches that men cannot make. That this girl does. I mean, she again, Randy Moss highlighted her because of a catch she made in one of the games, and it's pretty good, pretty remarkable. She's quite an athlete.
Yeah, that's it's very, very cool. Very proud of that, as we are all our athletes and friends from Northeast Ohio. You mentioned Hayden earlier, was on The Voice last night, and following his continued journey. Lots of cool stuff going on. Did want to mention we expect to have Cam Justice back next week to join us and talk about her journey in sports. News reporter for Channel 5 here in Cleveland, Ohio, the ABC affiliate. And we'll have Cam. We will have Olivia Brown on at one point.
It will. Yeah, I wanted to
deal with these
mention
student
that.
athletes, and sometimes you forget they have classes or things come up in their lives and they have commitments. So,
Well, yeah, that's what she sent me a message this morning that she had a lab moved till the time tonight, and listen, they're student athletes, right? So,
right.
And I know that there's a joke, you could say student, but you still have to go to class, right? You have to pass. So,
yes.
right.
So we understand that. We'll look forward to
no
talking
question.
to her.
So yeah, she was upset. So Olivia, she'll be on, and we'll get her stuff posted as well. And but moving on, let's talk about this. On Saturday is the Kirtland Show, Jeremy. Rain, snow, whatever it's going to be in Cleveland, Ohio. The Kirtland Show is happening Saturday the 15th, where everybody knows your name, the Kirtland Senior Center. That show's sold out, 40 some tables. What's really cool, it's been a lot of influx lately of Pokemon collectors, so there will be a little bit of more of that prevalent at some of the shows, and I see that everywhere. I mean, when I was in Arizona show this past Saturday, there's a lot of Pokemon collectors there. So it's a sports and non-sports card show, and we have the Broadview Heights coming up on the 22nd, which will be the same. We just posted this the other day. We partnered with the Cleveland Charge to give away 40 tickets. So there'll be 10 sets of 4 tickets at the Broadview Heights show for the Cleveland Charge. And we'll get your information. We'll send them to the charge. They'll put your name at the will call. You can pick whatever game you want to go for the rest of the year. So we'll have a ticket giveaway Saturday, February 22nd.
And by the way, Greenie, if those of you watching, listening out there, have not been to a Cleveland Charge game this season, they now play in historic Public Hall, which has been renovated. It is quite a unique facility to catch a basketball game.
Mm-hmm. I remember a long time ago, I went to a game there. It was a college game. I don't even know why, but I know my dad took me to it. I can't even tell you who played, but I know I went there for a game.
Could have been Cleveland
Actually,
State.
I'm pretty sure I saw your dad there. No question. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that my first collegiate basketball memories and experience are at Public Hall watching Cleveland State in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And that team had Franklin Edwards, who went on to play in the league, and Darren Tillis, who played for the Celtics in the league. And they had quite a little run there before they came back in the 86 run to the Sweet 16. So yeah, my earliest memories of basketball are in Public Hall, and the Charge have taken that over, and they've done a remarkable job with that experience. So so that'll be at Broadview Heights show on the 22nd. You'll be giving those tickets away.
Yeah, we will. So there'll be a way that we do that. We'll announce. We'll probably do raffle tickets and just give them away at the door, and we'll just pull your name and get whoever wins can go pick a game, whichever they want to see. So our friend Sean at the Cleveland Charge graciously donated those to us, and that's just another fun little unique experience that we can give away at some of our shows. And then we're working hard on the big regional shows that the Great Lakes Collectors Convention in April, the Mountain State Collectors Convention. There's the logo. You can throw that up there. That's going to happen at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center, with a trade night at the Charleston Dirty Birds baseball stadium that's at most a mile away from the convention center. And then our Medina show, the end of May, which is going to be the huge sports and pop culture show. And as many tables as we can fill in there, there's 300-400 tables, and we're gonna keep that going. A little bit of a twist this time. It'll only be the 1-day show with the Friday night trade night, and then September we'll do the big 3-day one back in Medina. So a lot going on here. Next thing you know, Jeremy, it'll be May.
Yep. Lots going on. So make sure to check out greeniecards.com for all the NIL cards, as well as a selection of additional sports cards and collectibles for your perusing pleasure and purchasing pleasure. And then greeniesportscards.com is where you can get all the show information and information about Greenie Sports Cards itself. So like you said, lots going on. More and more cards rolling out every day, and we continue to do this every Tuesday. Make sure you check in back at 9:00 tonight for the live auction on eBay. You can, of course, see it on any of the socials, but the real action is on eBay Live itself, where you can interact with the show. All auctions start at $2. You can unlock that combined shipping at $4.99 for all the auctions that you win. Alex does a tremendous job. Haley does a tremendous job on that. Thank you to Haley for her work with us here. Thank you to Isabella Geraci for joining us as well. Make sure you follow USA Flag Football. And Greenie, our thanks to you for letting us do all this fun stuff every week.
Yeah, that was a great busy week. I was 2,000 miles away from your guys' busy week, but everybody there, did a great job with Drew and Will and Haley and you. And yeah, I mean, that's why we're all together with this. And, people can handle it, and it's great. And it turned out everything was great. That together, and even me not being there, I was able to feel like I was there.
Yeah, it was a busy week for sure. Our thanks to the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission for letting us join the ride. Our thanks to Cleveland State University for their partnership on the sports cards. Those came out pretty cool. So we've got another team set as we roll on. And as always, Greenie, may the cards forever be in your favor.
Jeremy, once again, a Tuesday night is come and gone, and that hour goes fast. It's very enjoyable. We really thank Izzy for taking the time to talk to us, and we'll see you again next Tuesday night. And have a good night, everybody.